And thank you, Fran, for joining us. Fran is again from Centennial School District and in Pennsylvania, I believe. And
Sure.
Fran, I just want to start with just this kind of simple question here. Kind of what are your responsibilities and role with Centennial School District?
My responsibility and role in the Centennial, currently I'm the manager of technology. Prior to that, I was the network administrator. I just became the manager in July. So I've been doing the network side of it for the last 17 years. I have a small team of database administrators, system administrators, and we have 6 techs that go to 6 of our buildings. We have about 5,900 students that we support.
Great. So is it safe to say you probably wear many hats with your small but mighty team?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm doing the security plus everything else, so
Yeah.
that's how it works.
And that probably leads into my next question. Kind of how did you end up, looking for an MDR solution, or maybe even started knowing you had a problem, didn't even know you had MDR? How did you kind of come to the realization to start looking at a managed detection or response service?
Well, a couple years back, in our neighboring district, someone got hit with ransomware, and that kind of opened up everyone's eyes around us that we have to do something. Doing nothing is not an answer. In fact, I knew the district. I knew what was going on within the district, so I knew the players, and I was concerned because it could happen. It could also happen to me. So what we did is look at, okay, what's out there, and we looked at an MDR solution because I'm basically one person that's on security, and I kind of need a backfill of people behind me. So that's kind of why I picked an MDR solution.
Great. And then why did you kind of settle on Critical Start?
I did some evaluation on some other companies, and it was kind of a good fit for my environment. It's not a one fit all type thing, which, like right now I use Palo Alto and XDR. You guys can fit into that. If I decided to change what I'm using, I could still use Critical Start because you're kind of like an open source. You don't really care. Some of the other companies I was looking at, it's their product, their support, and I was kind of stuck with them. So that's kind of why I went with XDR. So
Yeah, so you like the flexibility of Critical Start if you changed maybe to a different, XDR, EDR tool, or even a different SIM or a new SIM, we could support you there.
correct. That's exactly why I did it. I like a relationship with the company. I don't want to, like, okay, I got this business for a while, then I'm moving to another, especially with security. You're going to know my environment, what you do now. So if I switch to another vendor, it's not going to be a big deal.
Excellent. And then when you started with Critical Start, how was the onboarding process?
The onboarding was great. We had meetings all the time in the beginning. They told me my status. They told me, they basically gave me a checklist of what I have to do. I did it. I basically had an XDR client on the systems. And then what was nice about it is that in the beginning, they showed me all the hits. And then they actually showed me what was happening with the alerts and how the process is working. And then eventually, within 3 to 4 weeks, all those alerts almost like disappeared. All the high ones are gone because you were learning my environment, which made all these alerts I was getting kind of go away. And one of the benefits I also liked about it is I use my the SOC app on my phone, so I can see what's going on at any time. If I get an alert, then I can respond. I'm not always walking around with my laptop, but I have my phone, so I can actually do things off my phone to address those issues.
Yeah, so you could be out at a ball game or a park, or out on date night, right? You can check on your phone and then go back to what you were doing.
Exactly.
And Alex, in a few minutes here, he's going to go over a little demo of the mobile app for everyone too. So that's a great segue to that coming up in a little bit. Are there any other benefits that you've seen, time savings, kind of things that you've liked since you started using the service?
Yeah, well, big time saver is that I don't get all those alerts before. I was getting alerts before. Okay, which ones are really important and which ones I can put aside. Now, when they come up, I know they're the important ones, and I don't have to worry about what I call noise in the background. So it gives me a more laser focus on what I have to address.
Yeah, that leads me to a good follow-up question. Kind of what does that allows you to do in other areas that maybe you didn't have time to before, other than go home early, maybe?
Well, now it allows me, since I got this new role, it allows me to manage the other people that I'm dealing with, the techs and my other associates that I deal with. So it gives me more time to help them out instead of worrying about security issues.
Awesome. And then, so I know you have a customer success manager here, right? Who's a point person for you. So you do have a person to call. So how do you like kind of dealing with not just our SOC, but the rest of the organization at Critical Start?
Well, it's great because I like once a month, or in the beginning it was like once a month. Now it's every quarter. We'll do a call and they'll give me my status, what I need to, if I need to look at something, or if I have the address, like now the XDR client, make sure I update them because there's issues with them if I don't. They kind of gives me like a little bit of a roadmap of what I have to do if I'm not maintaining it. But for the most part, everything seems to be going great, and I kind of like that check-in. It gives me like, okay, I have to focus on this now instead of that security at that moment, instead of all the other hats I'm dealing with at the time. So I like it.
Great. And I mean, is there any, I guess we'll wrap up here. Is there any kind of advice maybe you have for the folks in either higher ed or K-12 on the phone who might be looking for, a solution like MDR, as far as, evaluating or things that came up for you that maybe you wish you had known, right when you started to look for a solution?
Well, when I was looking for, one of the biggest things I was looking for a solution was I was always looking for like an open source type thing so I could go anywhere. That's what I think is important. So you're not stuck with the same vendor all the time, because the way I looked at it, if the vendor's supporting the product and they have a problem, it's just basically it's going to circulate back to them. This way, if I'm working with Critical Start, if I have a problem with something, they're kind of my voice, and they'll go to that vendor and say there's an issue, and that's kind of what I like about it.
Excellent. I think that's great perspective, Fran. Yeah, I don't think I have any other questions for you. Again, we really appreciate your time. I know your peers really like hearing from each other, so I think it's valuable experiences you've shared with Critical Start. And yeah, thanks again.
Yep.